Does your marigold plants not growing properly? In this video, I am going to show you many important tips and cares to grow more and more marigold flowers on our plants. If you follow all of these care tips, your marigold plants grow very healthily and fastly. Now it is the time of their blooming, you have to give them a proper healthy environment to produce more blooms. I have many important points related to the blooming of marigold flowers. So watch the entire video, for getting all important tips and cares. Without wasting time, let's start our video. In the introduction of marigold plant, I want to say that it is a winter season flowering plant that grows when the temperature is moderate, like in the February and March months. It is a perennial as well as annual flowering plant that grows as a permanent plant in many regions of the world. But in a temperate zone it grows as a seasonal plant. It is a native plant of the America and then spreads all over the world. There are so many types and varieties of marigold flowers, like French marigold flowers that have two color shades, and looks very attractive and beautiful. Basically, the marigold plants are related to sunflower plants in their genus. An important point that must be mentioned here is that, the marigold plants have pesticidic effects. This thing will be very beneficial if we use marigold plants near to our vegetable plants. It helps to decrease the chance of pest attack. Marigold flowers and leaves also have many beneficial impacts on our body. Marigold flowers have natural antibacterial, antiseptic, and anti-inflammatory effects. It also helps to soothe the skin. The flowers of marigold plant also used in religious purposes of Hindus. The marigold flowers have beauty as well as a refreshing fragrance. For the propagation, you can grow marigold plants from seeds as well as from cuttings. But growing marigold flowers from nursery-bought plants is very much easier. The marigold plants are very cheaply available in all local nurseries in the spring season. For growing healthy fresh marigold flowers, you have to give a favorable environment to the plant. For the soil mix, you have to make a well-draining, nutrients-enriched soil mix for your marigold plants. In the well-draining soil mix, the roots grows very fastly and the chance of water blockage is very low. The nutrients-enriched soil helps the plant to produce big-size, healthy marigold flowers. You can use these ingredients to make a well-draining, nutrients-enriched soil mix. Follow all the ratios mentioned on the screen. For growing bigger-size marigold flowers, the size of pot depends very much. You can grow marigold flowers in a 4 to 5 inches pot very easily. But for the big-size marigold flowers, choose at least 8 to 10 inches pot. It helps you to grow big-size marigold flowers. In small pots, the size of marigold flowers is also small. For the watering of marigold plants, you can add water in the soil when it feels dry to touch. Don't add too much water and too less water, you have to make a balance. In winters, the soil dries in 3 to 4 days and in summers it dries daily. Overwatering causes the rotting of roots. It is very important step of growing healthy marigold flowers. Overwatering also causes the yellowing of flower buds. To avoid this problem, make a balance in watering of marigold plants. For the sunlight, place the marigold plants in a place that receives about 5 to 6 hours of direct sunlight. It helps the plant to produce flowers continuously. It also helps the plant to enhance its immunity against many harmful diseases. A plant placed in a dark or dim location have a greater chance of getting many harmful diseases. To avoid this type of problems, place the marigold plants in a bright location. Prevention is always better than cure. For fertilizing your marigold plants, you can use these type of organic fertilizers. Fertilizer is a nutrients-enriched material that a plant requires to produce flowers, fruits, and branches. Adding fertilizer gives a boost to your marigold plants to produce more and more blooms. I have leaf compost, vermicompost, and mustard cake to be used in my plants. For making leaf compost from the dried leaves, you can check a video in the I button. I have described all the aspects about leaf composting, with 6 months of update, in that video. Mustard cake fertilizer helps the plant to produce more and more marigold flowers. I have also added a video on mustard cake liquid fertilizer in the I button and description. You can check them later. For adding the vermicompost, dig the upper layer of soil using any tool. Add a handful of compost as on the screen. Mix it with the soil slowly, and add water. You can add compost every 10 to 15 days. Best time for fertilizing your plants is in the evening time. It helps the plant to absorb the nutrients gradually. In the temperate zone, where the temperature is about 50 degrees in summers, the marigold plants dries in the month of April. Until April you can grow thousands of marigold flowers by following these care tips. If you find anything helpful in this video, you can subscribe to my channel. I brought this type of informative videos time to time. You can also visit my channel, where you find many beneficial videos related to gardening.